All right, day 2 of the event. Right now, Justin Rhodes is up on the main stage talking. Mainly today is going to be us listening to our friends talk. Going to see some other talks, and yeah, just more hanging out.
She said something's going to get him. And I took a deep breath. I hope they die. All right, keep that between us. All right. So. Why though? Well, I'll give you a little tip since I bring up that story. We don't want it to be in vain. I mean, sometimes it sucks. I mean, sometimes homesteading sucks. You're letting those chickens out in the morning. You're putting them up at night. But you have to just embrace that suck. We were spending our money.
I own this farm and part of putting on the Homestead Festival, along with many other friends and family members. I am so glad that you are all here today, and I'm also thankful for the opportunity to get to stand up here this afternoon. Most people will, put their phone away at night, maybe leave it in another room or something, make some smaller choices. But I'm surprised how few people are interested in taking some choice like that can make such a big difference.
Long game. Picture the long game, and that's where you won't be greedy. A thing we're big believers in, and Kevin Krause is going to talk about this next, I think in 10B, is about the soil. This is another thing that builds on the patience aspect, which is you've got to pour into your soil for your animal's sake or for your plant's sake.
All right, guys, so a lot of times it's not hard for me to talk to people. I mean, I'm kind of crazy and pretty funny, but I came up with Jill Winger. I listen to her podcast all the time, Old Fashioned on Purpose podcast, and I just literally just went completely blank. And I was like, what am I going to say to her? Like, I didn't want to be weird and just be like, hey, I like your podcast, and take off. So I muscled up the confidence to come up here.
You did good.
Say,
I was impressed.
Yeah.
Very confident.
Appreciate it. But yeah, so again, I'm just telling her how much I enjoy her podcast and her husband's podcast, and how much, I like the diversity and stuff of the people that you have on. It's always something interesting and new to learn, even though you're in a completely different growing environment and doing stuff than we are. Like, we're in South Carolina, and it's just like there's still stuff I can take away from the people that you interview and talk to.
Yeah, you're the best guests on there. I
you really do.
Enjoy them. We have the
and I mean, you're an awesome interviewer as well.
Thank you.
And it just keeps you engaged, and I love the fact that you have it on YouTube now too, because like some of the people actually signed up for the high tanning course. I really can't remember her name. I do suck with names.
Yeah, it's all right. So do I. But she was amazing.
Yeah.
She was so good.
Yeah. So I went back and watched it on YouTube, all the stuff she was showing. I said, man, I need to.
She was she had the weasel on a stick, and I'm like, this is the one time I really wish my audio people could see this.
Right.
She's holding it up. I'm like, this is epic.
Yeah, it was awesome. So thank you for being here. I can't wait to hear you speak some, and that's actually where we were heading when I saw you. I was like,
okay, good. Yeah, I'm headed there too.
Yeah.
So we'll go.
Awesome. So we're gonna head. Let's do her speak for a little bit, and we'll show some clips.
You're standing up and you're telling how good you are with something, or how much you have figured out, and then you turn around and they're eating the couch. Both applies to children and animals sometimes. And so I'm gonna bring what I have learned in my limited time as a mother. I have a 13, 10, and 7-year-old. So I'm not an old pro, but there's some things I've observed and some things I've made mistakes around, and things that I've found that work better for us. So I'm gonna bring that to you today to the best of my ability. 7 minutes outside. You guys have seen these statistics before, more than likely. But 4 to 7 hours on screens, right? And that's a big part of that not playing. That part that they need that explores and creates, they're putting that energy into their screens instead of experiencing the world around them. But this was the one that got me the most. Anxiety and depression in children rose 29% from 2016 to 2020. That was pre-pandemic. I can only imagine what that is now.
What is apple scrap vinegar?
Apple scrap vinegar is when you take the peels of apples and the cores after you process them for something like applesauce or apple pie, and you put them in sugar water and let them ferment for a few months.
So it's different than apple cider vinegar, right?
I think so. I think apple cider vinegar is used, it has like the mother in it, some type of Some type of additional thing to help it ferment.
Like a bacteria.
Bacteria. I'm not that knowledgeable on it yet.
You're just a compost lady.
I'm the compost lady. I shovel dirt.
And so because we faced a lot of challenges, we're like, oh, we have 4 acres. This is so big compared to our last farm. We're still growing about the same space we were on our last farm. Granted, we were able to like expand and have animals and things like that. But when we realized we have a lot of challenges, I had to start thinking through things differently, right? I had to do things a little bit different than how I'd originally been taught, or maybe how I thought I wanted to do things, because we were still very much so growing on a small scale. And so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make this my thing. I'm gonna learn how to grow intensively on a small scale, and I'm gonna hopefully encourage a lot of people, because what is the general census? Access of land is so hard to find. Anyone dealing with that right now? And so what I do is at the top of my tunnel, we've got, pipe that runs this way. And so we put conduit at the top of those pipes. And what I will do is I like to use jute twine because I use compostable clips. And at the end of the season, since I'm thankful to not have any disease, I can rip all of those plants down and throw them in the compost. The clips break down, the jute twine breaks down. But if you're using this system out in a raised bed, I would probably go with the tomato twine because I'm not sure how that jute will handle against the elements if you get a lot of rain, super harsh sun. So that is something to be mindful of. I use jute for the composting, but I've got shade cloth on a tunnel, so I don't deal with the heat that some of you guys might.
It is like gasoline on a fire. Passion is the greatest gift that I could ever give you. They're going to have a tool that they said, before I had this tool, this was so hard, but this made it easier. And really, whenever we're offered new mindsets and we're the opportunity to have new mindsets, we're being offered with tools that can make us in the creation of our lives easier. Okay? It's hard because it's hard to accept new mindsets, isn't it? It's really hard to think, oh, I've never heard that before, so it must be wrong. That's why I closed the door on permaculture for 3 years, because it was all new language to me. And I thought, that's confusing. So I shut the door on it. But as soon as I got that one piece, it's simply the study of the relationship of all things.
Serious, like I knew how to change a tire when I was 7. I was like, oh look, the metal tire rolled out. I gotta put another one with metal on it. Like I didn't know what tread was. I'm dead serious, but I never considered myself, underprivileged, poor. Like that was never my perception. It wasn't until someone made fun of me in elementary school or whatever, you know what I'm saying, made fun of my mom and what she was wearing or whatever. That's when that mindset changed. It's when I listened to what someone else said, really out of their own insecurities, and then you realize, oh, that's because abundance is a mindset. So like, just because someone has a nice truck or, that's not what we're saying is abundance. Having nice stuff is not abundance. I'm not saying I don't like nice stuff. Jessica really likes nice dresses. That's okay. You should have heard Ben when he found out how much some of Jessica's dresses cost. He was like, what? For one dress? But I mean, but that's fine. It's okay to have that stuff. But I'm saying that's not abundance. Abundance is the mindset of stewarding what you have been given.
How these things might not be cool.
So that is a wrap for the Homestead Festival 2023. Man, was it a great time. Just getting to see all the things going on and all the vendors, all the speakers, getting to meet new people, make new friends and stuff like that. It was absolutely awesome. I can't thank Jill and Nathan enough for bringing us along with them and letting us stay with them. And that was a great time as well. So I hope you enjoy it, and we'll catch you in the next one.